The Lakers just pulled off the greatest trade in NBA history, acquiring 25-year-old Luka Doncic. But there's one major problem. LeBron James is 40 years old and on the brink of retirement. So today, we're reverting him back to prime 26-year-old Miami form, and we'll see how many titles these two legends can win together in the next 10 years. All starting off with the 2025 season, where we'd see both stars average similar stats in very different ways. Prime LeBron in a modern NBA offense would be good for 30 points, 7 rebounds, and 10 assists, while Luka would be averaging 33 points on the dot to go with almost 10 rebounds and almost 10 dimes per night, barely winning the MVP over LeBron. But most importantly would be the Lakers as a team winning 57 games on the year to finish as a number 3 seed. A solid start for the two players while also giving them room to improve that number in the future. And that win total would give them momentum for the first round of the playoffs against the Phoenix Suns, where despite KD playing well as usual, the Lakers would be able to send him home in 6. Move on to the second round for a very ironic matchup with the Dallas Mavericks. In this reality on the season, they were able to win more games than the Lakers, led by their star duo of Kyrie and AD. But for the playoffs, what could only be described as an extremely motivated Luka would be all the difference, sweeping his former team to get his revenge. But the Lakers' good fortune wouldn't end there. They would have all the momentum to eventually make it to New York for the NBA Finals a few weeks later, not only giving us a big market showdown between the Lakers and the Knicks, but also a battle of former teammates on the Dallas Mavericks, as Luka will be up against former backcourt mate Jalen Brunson. But unlike the previous few rounds, this one wouldn't come as easy for LA's duo, as while they'd easily have the best two players leading to a 2-0 lead, there's no replacement for the defense that Anthony Davis would usually bring. And as a result, Karl Anthony Towns would be able to lead New York to a 2-2 tie. And that would set a trend for the rest of the series, as while LeBron and Luka would return back home for Game 5 to reclaim the lead, it would be the other former Mavs guard, Jalen Brunson, forcing Game 7.
This series has gone down to the wire. Welcome, everyone, to NBA Finals Game 7. Winner take all. A season of joy and pain will end here tonight.
This year's Bill Russell Finals MVP goes to LeBron James.
And just like that, the prime LeBron and Luka duo has kicked off the first of our 10 years with a chip. But in the words of the greatest Laker ever,
still to be happy about. The job's not finished.
They're still very far away from becoming the best duo ever. One chip is not going to cut it. The whole point of putting LeBron back in his prime was for longevity. And these two will have 9 more years left to win more titles, starting off with the 2026 season. But before we see if they repeat, we first have to check the overall scope of the league, namely the Detroit Pistons, who would be signing Kyrie in free agency. It seems like the Luka trade may have had some unintended effects for the Mavs, as while they still have AD dominating, he's entering his age 33 season. So it goes without saying that while they'll be alright in the short term, that rebuild is coming for Dallas. But let's be clear, even if that's the case, it's been established that the Lakers had the better end of the deal. LeBron would be winning this year's MVP. Luka would just barely be the runner-up, and LA would win 63 games on the year to improve from last year's 57. All the signs are there for a repeat title, and there's only a few teams and players who even have a chance to take them down. One of which could be the Boston Celtics, who'd be meeting up with the Lakers in the finals. They've kept their same championship starting 5 from when they won the title, and there's all the reason to believe that Tatum and Brown have gotten better over time. But while we'd have the classic Lakers-Celtics matchup, the current chapter of their historic rivalry would easily be dominated by LA star duo, as they'd dice up the Celtics in Game 1, and while Boston would respond in Game 2 to tie it up, it would be answered by 3 straight wins by the Lakers, giving them their second straight title in a much simpler fashion than the first. But yet again, in the words of Kobe,
Job finished? I don't think so.
Because there's still so much more work to be done as we enter the 2027 season, one where they'll actually be chasing a part of Kobe's legacy, as they're trying to be the first team to win 3 straight titles since Kobe's Lakers did it in the early 2000s. A 20-year three-peat drought is a serious red flag. There have been super teams in that span who haven't been able to pull it off. And yet, despite all of that, they'd be knocking on history's door anyways. The Lakers would be advancing to Charlotte for the finals to go up against a talented young Charlotte Hornets team. where the two most popular players in the league would take over their arena to eventually win the title in 6. LeBron and Luka have made history that's been dormant for 2+ decades, giving the Lakers 20 championships as a franchise, with the greatest trade ever as its most recent catalyst.
And the Oklahoma City Thunder will move on. Now one final challenge for them to overcome. Maybe the biggest challenge they've faced yet.
The taller they are, the harder they fall. Just as quickly as the Lakers celebrated the three-peat, the following playoffs would see them sent home by Oklahoma City, as they'd be heading over to Detroit to challenge the Pistons, who are led by Cade Cunningham and Kyrie Irving, who would actually be able to pull off a slight upset and eventually win the championship in 5. But for the Lakers, there were some interesting trends happening in the background that led us to this outcome, ones that we'll certainly have to cover entering 2029. To start off, while either LeBron or Luka have won the MVP award every single year since we started the experiment, there are multiple players who are not far off from that level and at the very least could sneak in there and win one. But most importantly and worst of all would be the loss of extends the lead to 4. Also on the floor for the Lakers, LeBron, Finney-Smith, and Clark, who's guarding Embiid. Looks like they're running a play for Embiid. They hit Fox. It's stolen by Connect. Dalton Connect with the defense all the way to the basket, coast to coast. The Lakers playing their best basketball of the season down the stretch. At the right time, Tyrese Maxey with it. Goes to the left. The floater, the tough shot is good. Silences the LA crowd just for a moment. Luka with it now. LeBron's running over to the right corner. Brandon Clark with it. Obviously, Embiid has a size advantage. The pass over to LeBron on the wing. He's going to shoot it off the catch. It's good. It's not over yet, but LA has the momentum. The pass over to Wilson in the corner, over to Maxey. Maxey all the way to the paint, and he's fouled by Finney-Smith. Maxey made the first, the second one he's probably making. There it is, and we are still at a 5-point lead. LA barely holding on to said lead. 2 minutes left to play. Clark with the ball. He's going to pass it to a cutting LeBron, and one. A stop or two, and the championship will be theirs after a 1-year hiatus. Maxey with it now, controlling the offense. He's also fouled. He made the first. Second one is good. And both teams are going back and forth. Less than 2 minutes to play in Game 7. Dalton Connect with the ball, guarded by Maxey. Has a size advantage. Luka with the left-handed floater. It's off. Rebounded by Maxey. A lot of action from him down the stretch. Not much from everyone else. Walker's going to launch it. It's off. Lakers are looking to push. They hit Clark in transition. He's crowded in the paint. Luka is wide open. He shoots the 3. He extends the lead. And the Lakers are just 1 minute away and a couple stops from redemption. Maxey's going to pull up from mid-range. He's fighting. He is not giving up. But can Luka end it right here? He's going to launch it early in the shot clock. It's off. Not too sure what that was all about. Shout out to the 2K logic. Maxey almost pulled one. He's going to pass it over to Wilson. Wilson back over to Tyrese. Tyrese into the lane. A layup over 2, and Crypto Arena can feel it. They're 1 bucket away from ending this one. They're running a play. They hit Clark over to LeBron. LeBron with the pass over to Finney-Smith. Top of the key. It's good. And that is probably going to do it. Absolute domination down the stretch by the Lakers. Maxey's going to go all the way. It's off, rebounded by Clark. And within a few moments, the Lakers would dribble out the clock, and they'd be completing their redemption tour. In the face of what was a close game, they went on a dominant run to seal the deal, and prime LeBron plus Luka now have 4 titles in a 5-year span. But not only would they be winning this year's championship, but they'd also be reclaiming the momentum they lost to OKC. Turning the page onto the new decade, they'd be right back in the 2030 finals, up against the Orlando Magic, featuring their trio of extremely tall and skilled wings. But despite all of that, they would be up against the league's best duo, and the Lakers would be going up 3-2. Now being not just 1 win away, but 1 play away from championship number 5. 20 seconds on the shot clock, 20.7 on the game clock. The pass into Luka. Looks like he's taking the final shot. He's going to drive right. He's going to spin left. Out to Bronny for the lead. It's good. Bronny James. He may have just secured the Lakers their 5th title in 6 years. 11.9 left on the clock. They pass it into Suggs. Suggs with 10 seconds. Over to Paolo. Paolo with 7, with 6. Driving right into the paint. It's off. It's rebounded by LeBron and the foul. They're not in the bonus just yet. Bronny's in the backcourt, which means he's going to be shooting the free throws. After hitting the go-ahead 3, he rattles in the first. He gets the shooter's bounce. And to potentially seal the championship, give the Lakers a 3-point lead. It's good. No more timeouts left for Orlando. They're going to have to shoot one from full court. Suggs for the tie. It's off. And in a world dominated by LeBron and Luka, it's Bronny James who's hitting the shot of the year to seal championship 5 of the last 6 years. And keep in mind that when you add in the regular season MVP awards, which either LeBron or Luka have won every single year except for this current one, depending on who you ask, they might already be the best duo ever. But if we're going to play it by the book, they still need 7 titles, and as we enter 2031, they'd continue the chase. But unlike previous seasons, the Lakers would sort of hit a wall, only winning 52 games on the year to finish as the 5 seed, which would be their lowest to date, ultimately becoming a major issue in the second round against the West's #1 seed. The Houston Rockets, led by star big man Alperen Şengün, as well as their hyper-athletic duo of Amen Thompson and Jalen Green, would run circles around the Lakers, shattering their three-peat dreams in 5. When you add in the presence of Jared McCain, the Houston Rockets would eventually be tick-tocking their way to the 2031 title. So would this be a sign of things to come? Has the Lakers dynasty just ended? Well, at the very least, they return to the finals a year later, with Luka and LeBron up against a very familiar opponent, the Boston Celtics, who after almost 15 years still have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Over time, the pieces around them have changed with a bunch of new faces on the squad. But at its core, their 2 best players are the same, and interestingly, so would the final result. As despite having a slightly worse record on the year, in the battle of the duos, it would be Luka and LeBron pulling through, sweeping the Celtics to win championship number 6, now leaving them with just 2 years to win 1, to pass the legendary Jordan and Pippen. A goal they'd continue to get closer to, as in 2033's Western Conference Finals, they'd be up against the league's best young duo. The Portland Trailblazers would be in search of their first ring on the heels of their Cooper Flag and Wemby duo, with the latter as the only player other than LeBron or Luka to win MVP in recent history. But in the end, 2 MVPs are better than 1, leading the Lakers to the doorstep of the NBA Finals with a 3-2 lead, while also laying the red carpet for Luka Magic to seal the series in style. Rebounded by Wembanyama. He's going to push it on the break. He has the mismatch. He's guarded by Luka. He's driving right. Stripped by Luka. Great defense from number 77. He's going to push it on the break. Going all the way. Taking the team by himself. And 1. And to make a long story short, that would be the defining sequence of the series, being enough to advance the Lakers to the finals. Cooper and Wemby are the NBA's future, LeBron and Luka are its present. They'd head into Philly for the finals to face Tyrese Maxey, who's the last man standing from their previous matchup, eventually finishing the job to win title number 7, officially passing Jordan plus Pippen's Bulls. And to close the door on their decade as teammates, let's move on to our 10th and final season, where they'd return to the finals up against the Atlanta Hawks' 2-star big men. Whereas it has been 7 times previously, they'd win another championship, now making that number 8. In real life, 29 other teams should be glad LeBron is in his 40s. Because if he was in his prime and he teamed up with Luka, they would become the greatest duo